Post-Alchemist Steve Saver on FB here. Shout out to Immortal Wifey Grimes, Shinigami Kiki, Farina Kakiri Clara, Pixie Spritz, my Sailor Tune to the stars. Look, I'm gonna do a reading of some preliminary notes to the sequel to Elephant Tusk, or How Human Beings Will Have the Game to Be Free. Also called Island of Sleeping Gods, or How Scams and Sales Turned the Earth into a Human Zoo of Fuckery. Not the first book, the second book is called the second title. Nuance is important. It's impossible for human beings to perceive nuance at the current stage of evolution, it seems. It's apparently an innovation for the entire fucking species. And I have to say that it's possible to have a perspective that evolves over time in accordance with changes in experience. Alright, I'm gonna read these. I called these the brother codes. There's a lot more of them. They're on my 971 Android phone that was stolen by the Halifax Police, possibly in conjunction with a number of co-conspirators. I can't stop laughing at my life. It's fucking hilarious. For an update on Assange Bunker 5, there's a squadron of literal alchemists from a Nova Scotian occult laboratory across the bay from this random Lunenburg campground, watching my six at all times as professional marksmen who were trained their whole lives to protect Zebra when he finally came around. So I'm gonna start reading. I know my wife's gonna be mad I'm not listening to Misanthropocene or some other part of her discography to this reading, but she needs to accept that my attention is wholly and completely hers for all time. She just needs to directly at me, bitch. Alright. Well, let's go. Alright, guys. We're obviously communicating. My brain doesn't speak to me in another tongue, it only speaks to me in my own. Theme: creation of consciousness, not nations, flowers, not people, flowers. First book ends in a mystical experience. Second book ends in spontaneous self-healing process of human organism. All you care about is the fucking Buddha Dharma, brother. You are the Buddha Dharma, brother. That's the Buddha Dharma, brothers. God damn it. I guess I do care about the fucking Buddha Dharma, brothers. And the way I envision these, it's not targeted at anyone. It's like people arguing in the street, basically, which is how I see the human condition. You Papua Gandhi Krishnamurti is inside you, you fucking Canadian redacted scoundrel, brother. History, retroactively created. It creates me, and I create it. But ultimately, I do create it. Anything is possibly meaningful. Meaning is brain created. Diversity as a symptom of creation of consciousness. Joke: creation of consciousness. Thought: abbreviated COC like cock, lol. Laughs: stone trippin'. Voice cuts in: you've gotta get laid, brother. Paranoia: awareness of the web. Meaning: awareness of the web. Other theme: yin-yang of perceived trash and perceived beauty. Other theme: transmutation of paranoia. Reverence equals slavery. They think I'm shooting at the things they love, but I'm shooting at their prisons. Theme: we imprison ourselves. Theme: meaningful writing should be humorous, not too serious, or else it can become a burden. Or at least work from something that can be taken too seriously to something that can be taken humorously or lightly. What did they put in this fucking CIA Halifaxian psychedelic weed gummy, brothers? Central Intelligence Agency, Canadian Intelligence Agency, Earth Intelligence Agency, Intelligence Agency, Mystery Intelligence Agency. Dow. Image of shit on the word Dow. LOL. Dow that can be spoken. If you accidentally get laid, brother, then I can no longer call you my friend, brother, and I will never call you brother again, brother. Censorship sentient AI surveillance system that forces all the characters to keep calling each other brother passive-aggressively instead of expressing their frustration honestly. Buddhism, vehicle of consciousness creating because it's dealing with negative mental processes. At any moment this evening, you could have gotten laid, but you chose to write about the fucking Buddha Dharma again, brother. We're inside of your Pokeball. We're inside of your Pokeball. Voices going from outside to inside the brain. Externalization of separate neurological processes, split up. And whenever Guy goes to laugh, big sign comes up over his head that says illegal, because he can't spoil the somber mood, such as the family dinner. This isn't the right frame to be in for a family dinner, brothers. What do you do here? Capitalist job placement review board stalking everywhere in many forms. LOL. What do I do? The only thing that's necessary. You're intimate with your experience of being a weird being, brother? That's fucked in the head, brother. If you write another word about the Buddha Dharma, you'll never be a true Buddhist, and you'll be reincarnated as a cockroach for 50 billion lifetimes on every planet, throughout every galaxy, throughout the entire universe, with cockroach-esque supporting environmental qualities, brother. If you write another word, I'm gonna be pissed, then continue to be pissed at a higher power level, brother. Because you're in the gutter of creation, and I'm up here on my high horse, laughing like a billionaire, enjoying a margarita, and staring at the sunset in fucking Tijuana, brother. If you let our words wash over you like fucking waves, soon enough you'll be drowning, brother. If you spin the tape loop one more time tonight, I'm gonna cut your reel, and you're gonna be roaring through the jungle like a wild river, brother. If you say that possible meaning mantra one more fucking time, I'm gonna send your ass back to India, mother brother. If you do the electric storm one more time. Master-slave dynamic with history. Humankind as slave to history. Intermediate process, then humankind as master over history, from it creating you to you creating it. Last laugh. Every time I make contact, I have the last laugh. Look, I know stupid and I know smart if I ever saw a fucking thing in my life, brother. Your brain really is a circus, motherfucker, because I feel like I'm staring at some acrobats on a trapeze when I look into your brain, brother. If you think we're projecting your mind, brother, then what is there left to say, brother? If you do the electric storm one more fucking time, I'm embarrassed for you, because the electric storm is a fucking hawk of splurping crap, brother. Don't you dare synchronize your brain with the environment, because that's the number one thing the U.S. presidency can't tolerate, you anti-nationalist, anarcho-Canadian scumbag, brother. Oh my God, brother, what the hell happened to you in Portland, Oregon, brother? You're a hippie motherfucker, and I know a hippie brother, because I know how to spend $1, and I know how to drive a car, and I know where my fucking mail is coming in the morning. And if you ever try to enlighten me again, I'm gonna lock myself in a coffin in an ancient castle's dungeon and sleep for 40,000 fucking years like Nosferatu, brother. An anarchy TNT pump with wire connected to my own head, which explodes. Look, there's such a thing as stupid and there's such a thing as smart, and I'm the judge and arbiter of both sides and everything that comes between, brother. You better not call the holy guardian angel down on our heads, and you better not call out Ron Karaoke again. And if you do the electric storm one more fucking time, I'm gonna shit in your bed for 48 hours, brother. If you take one more fucking weed gummy tonight, I think you might rematerialize. And if you rematerialize, that means you dematerialize. And that's quantum as fuck, brother. If you think that's quantum as fuck, brother, then I wager you haven't read a scientific publication the last 80 years, brother. And you've just been reading some hippie shit thinking you're a motherfucking quantum physicist, brother. You're a quantum physicist if you think that's hilarious, brother. If you talk about your paranormal experience at the Ludlow Motel one more fucking time ever again in your fucking life, then you run the risk of unveiling worldwide global conspiracies about the myriad countless Gmails of life insurance policies shipped directly to your Google inbox, brother. If you lift reverse engineering cryptozoology from Jason Gallagher's Facebook post, then he will call his lawyer promptly, and you will receive immediate notice of copyright infringement lawsuits. And you'll be so deep into shit that you won't rise to the light of day where you're worthy enough of the name brother for 50 zillion eons, brother. And guess what? Once I get pissed, I get a little bit more pissed. And might get even a little bit more pissed off. And the more pissed I get, the more my fucking power level rises, brother. Jet plane fight blaster scene with me blasting historical figures with instructions over earpiece from VoiceFing during intermediate process. Secret society bullshit. Deity/non-deity. Monogamy/poly. Vax/anti-vax. Literal/ambiguous, etc. The brother formula. How dare you inflare the quality of my simultaneous enjoyment and unenjoyment of your company, brother? Well, how dare you inflare the triple felony legal transactions I've committed in the last 48 hours, brother? How dare you reignite the feudal rivalry, brother? How dare you ignite the magnitude I spray paint onto minute discrepancies, brother? Let me repeat that one. How dare you ignite the magnitude I spray paint onto minute discrepancies, brother? Golden Goose and multiverse interpretations of brain functions episodes. Hey, don't you ever sell me a golden goose for free, brother? And don't you ever pull the rabbit out of my hat, brother? Don't you dare reanimate my memory and ignite my secret society MK Ultra bullshit, brother. Don't you dare cause me to transcend Judge Judy's realm of law, brother. You're quadrutriply fucked in the head for writing that shittery down, brother. That's incriminating as fuck. The Trump field will surely launch an automatic hydroponic drone strike upon your ass, motherfucker. Look, I can do what I'm going to do, brother. Don't you dare remove my resistance to a certain action that I'm going to do, brother. Yeah, well, don't you dare assassinate my anxiety around my masturbation habits, brother. And don't you ever put me in a good mood, brother. That's contrary as fuck to the stress dharma. And illegal as hell in the province of the Trump field, brother. Don't you dare assassinate the CEO of the editorial department at my company in place of employment, brother. Don't you ever question the sincerity and honesty of the editorial department at my fucking company, brother. And don't you dare start a race war between our sleeper agent secret identities, brother. Don't you dare initiate a Pokemon battle in the middle of the streets of the fucking United States of America, in the hardest city in the regional county, in the hardest city in the fucking world, brother. Look, you're present moment anarchist as hell, and that's contrary beyond disrepair to my fuckery and my fuckery, brother. That's transformed me instantaneously into a Buddha Dharma bullshit disintegration, brother. And you just caused a chain reaction in my cause and effect that has turned my brain into a fucking hand grenade, you anarcho-Canadian fuckbag. Look, don't you dare chill me to fuck out, brother. That's contrary as fuck to the Trump field, brother. And don't you dare chill me past the point of revelation, brother. That's contrary as fuck to Queen Elizabeth and Pastor Johnny's Tavern, brother. And don't you fucking dare chill me past the point of any conclusions, brother. That's gonna turn me into a chill fuckery, brother. That's fucked in the head. And I no longer can tell whether or not I'm fucked in the head. That's contrary as fuck to my sin anxiety complex. You're a true motherfucker. And I'm straight chillin'. You're a fuck for assassinating Stanford, bro. But who the fuck cares? What the hell was I doing anyways? I can do what I'm gonna do, what the fuck ever. You turned me into a fucking lotus flower, brother. Don't you dare bring Sony Ltd into any fucking conversational dynamics around my paranoia about your paranoia through my paranoia, brother. That's illegal as hell under the iron reign of the Trump field, brother. Don't you dare initiate me to keep my cool under the iron reign of the Trump field, brother. That's gonna cause me to realize the Buddha Dharma instantaneously into a spontaneous fit of laughter, bro. That's anarchist as hell, bro. What the fuck are you? By which I mean the after image that you left when you exited my field of vision, which I hold in a certain fluctuating light. Don't you dare hold my after imagine in a negative light, bro. That's incriminating as fuck, brother. Disintegration initiate has fucked my Trump field radar, fucker. You made me a cosmic anarchist motherfucking soldier. How dare you make me non-hypothetically aware of what it means that we descended from primates, brother? That's chill as fuck, you piece of shit. Don't you ever question the laurels of global commerce, brother. That's going to incriminate my triple homicide, triple felony, billion felony legal transactions, brother. Don't you ever tie my place of appointment to non-precedented secret society bullshit, motherfucker. That's crazy as fuckery, goddamn. Fuckery is chill as hell, brother. How dare you turn the non-localized sources of my supposed anxiety into something related to my direct field of vision, and then fucking initiate a drone strike from the barrel of your AK-47 of fuckery through my fucking head, brother. Goddamn, what the fuck ever. I say all right to infinite space. I just instantaneously became a Buddha Dharma bullshit disintegration. I've exited the Trump field. I'm planetary consciousness as fuckery. You just converted me into an anarchist lotus flower soldier, brother. Don't you ever push the overdrive on my chill, brother. How dare you non-hypothetically alleviate my anxiety? Those international criminals stone bear weed gummies in your system are fucking hydroponic missiles blasting my skull to smither fucking reams, brother. You just initiated a nuclear war between the United States and Canada in my Trump field and phoned a demolition team in with a wrecking ball in the editorial office of my company and place of residence. And it's chill as hell that you fucked my Arnold Schwarzenegger in this tight little plum hole with your fucking blossoming transpermic mushroom agents, you gonzo Bodhi Dharma. You're a psychedelic fuckery on non-precedented proportions. How dare you reconcile my need for tragedy with existence? And how dare you fucking introduce me to objective reality in a non-hypothetical manner? You just collapsed the wave vector on the last 8,000 years. And you just hijacked the ruts of my daily rotation of my memories of my time at Parlez-vous Francais. That's too trippy anarchist dharma to exist in my Bodhi field of sacraments, brother. That's Trump contrary fuckery, bro. And don't you dare snap my yin-yang halves into a yin-yang with my resistance to my own necessary actions, brother. Like a keychain in your fucking Pokeball. Look, that's going to assassinate the White House and the Chancellor of every nation Ltd. But he's a fuckbag who I never even met. How dare you make me see politician as a mythological secret society fuckery of non-imaginable proportions. And don't you dare unlock my heart through a good mood. That's a stress-free universal sin of non-precedented proportion. Off you go to Stray Dogtopia. Wander to Earth like an international villains. Because you're the retardedly genius fuck of all time. And you got to get out of Belchertown because it's a hallucination. And you gotta get out of Portland, Oregon because it's your hologram shitfuck and that's really all. Too simple to comprehend any of it, and I couldn't really care. A feather on the wind. And I've exceeded the legal limitations of the arm of the legal limitations of the brain that constructed my shitfuck, goddamn. What was I thinking or saying all these years? Well, guess this is the way things are. That's comedically tragic as hell for the human species, brother. You just converted me into an anarchist, brother. You're an international terrorist if you reignite the feudal rivalry in our friendship, brother. Your relaxation is a kamikaze jet pilot against my stress fetish, brother. Repeat that one. Your relaxation is a kamikaze jet pilot against my stress fetish, brother. How dare you activate the Zuckerberg Artificial Intelligence Singularity Network, brother? That's some daredevil fuckery and retardedly genius, non-precedented proportions, brother. Don't you dare project magical powers on your Facebook friends, brother. Don't you dare pressure sniper vaporize the neurohormonal relationship I have with my high-action Clint Eastwood bullshit. And you better not drop a hydrogen bomb on the many, many tears I've cried to sustain it, brother. You've reached a point where everything you say is equally true. That's the cosmic radius point, brother. Don't you ever turn my musical listening experience into my own composition, brother. Well, don't you ever feministify my feminism, brother. Damn, the atomic implosion of the state of Massachusetts is chill as hell, brother. You've converted me into cosmic anarchist, Zebra, and through the heavenly funding dropped in your Bitcoin account in return, we've ganged together in the imaginal realm to transform you into a fucking Tinder girl Casanova, brother, because you're a sweetheart, goofy human being, and that's some non-precedented present moment anarchy bullshit, brother. Don't you dare arrange a race war between our Stanfords and the third world of my shitfuck, brother. Don't you ever initiate a chain reaction in my being that assassinates my deity, brother. Don't you ever push my throttle beyond a chill fuck of comprehension, brother. And don't you dare question the laurels of Arby's Supermarket Ltd, brother. That's an assassination attempt on the Mac Don, bro. How dare you reconcile me with reality? That's international terrorism on a non-precedented level in the asshole of Arnold Schwarzenegger, brother. The interpretation of the life insurance policies directly mailed to your Gmail inbox is fucked as hell for your ability to chill, brother. It's clearly some MK Ultra shit fuckery in the notes application on your Androids, brother. Don't you dare assassinate my dislocation from the ambiguity of my relationship with technological equipment, brother. And don't you ever toggle me into Tartarus again, brother. You're really turning into a quantum physicist on those Stone Bear weed gummies. Those Stone Bear weed gummies are medical examiners right now. They've zipped up your fly and your pants have blown off. You're the fucker of Halifaxian babes. But don't you dare become a god in the middle of the kitchen floor at Johnny's Tavern, bro. That's too anarchist to exist, brother. You're chilling the fuck out, and we're all pissed off about nothing, and it's initiated the Gallagher Fury, brother. But then you popped my head like a pimple, so what the fuck ever. My it do be like that has hit a collapse, lol. Don't you ever collapse the feudal warpath between the editorial department and the writer's closet. That's anarcho-heart dharma as fuck, brother. You've initiated the 5th of November on non-precedented scales, brother. That's as illegal as hell in the Judge Judy realm of law, brother. We're gonna take a train ride into a brick wall, brother, but don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl, brother. Don't you ever point out the dilation of my eyeballs, brother, nor the shade of my optic fuckeries. It's implicating the chemical admixture of prescription medication and or alternative medicine that's pumping and flooding through my biological system, brother. Don't you ever swap my placebo out with a quantifuckery, brother. Don't you ever attempt an assassination attempt on my, mother, brother. Don't you ever attempt the annihilation of my deity, brother. Don't you fucking disintegrate my Zuckerberg Ltd, brother. All you care about is copyright infringement, brother, and that's contrary as fuck to the fucking Buddha Dharma, brother. I'm gonna trigger the Bodhi field and sick 10 billion angry Buddhist monks upon your fuckery, brother. And don't you dare call yourself the Maitreya after the conversion process into the fuckery beyond the fuckery, brother. Because that's contrary as fuck to the Buddha Dharma, brother. Don't you dare make the younger generation into cosmic anarchists, brothers. That's comedically tragic for the old fuckies of the secret society bullshit, brother. And don't you ever dare detonate my Stanford or my Jordan Peterson, brother. That's an international terrorist act on my TED Talk, bro. Don't you dare ignite the feudal rivalry in my spy versus spy bullshit, brother. That's tragic as hell for my tragedy, brother. Because if you piss me off to my ultimate power level, there's a chance I just might initiate suicide in a fucking peaceful forest, brother. Don't you ever twinkle your Harry Potter stardust into my peaceful forest, brother. That's a chemical weapon attack on my Peterson Dharma, brother. And how dare you fucking talk about Harry Potter and Johnny's fucking tavern, brother. Don't you ever disintegrate my schizo-historical chronic anxiety nervous breakdown into a peaceful forest, brother. And don't you ever activate my sweetheart so I can see the goddess in a miniature dachshund, bro. Don't you dare polysaturate my nutritional dharma with Arby's Market cereal aisle dietary preference terrorist acts, brother. And don't you dare activate your halo while you chomp down on that organic material born of your fucking preferences, brother. And you're a fuckhead if you ever make my necessities of universal arbitration and law into mere preferences, bro. That's the collapse of Olympus in my heavenly light, brother. How dare you assassinate my meek and kind loving kindness in a non-hypothetical manner while I'm working in the shadows. That's present moment anarchy that's gonna explode Anna Brown's Muji forehead, brother. That's a Jim Neutron bomb in the present moment of my present moment, fuck, brother. Don't you intermix your togetherness with my loneliness, bro. That's as criminally illegal as starting a commune in Belchertown, Massachusetts, brother. And don't you dare spill your lonely butt into my togethery, bro. That's a triple felony legal as residential. That's triple felony legal as residential housing, brother. Don't you ever dare cause a chain reaction in my Walmart cereal aisle that twists my what happened into a did it happen at all, brother. That's contrary as fuck to capitalist society, bro. Never dare you ever start a revolution in a non-hypothetical manner on the cleaning floor of Johnny's Tavern, brother. That's a mutiny of janitorial cleaners against the regional manners of the establishment, and my anxiety contractual agreement with the CEO of Walmart Ltd, brother. Don't you ever twist the nipple of my Zuckerberg in a lethal manner while I'm in your fucking Pokeball, motherfucker. Don't you dare ever cause a market collapse of global commerce, you international villain. That's contrary as fuck to the Trump field, brother. I'm a sleeper agent bullshit, and I'd like to hunt you down like a stray dog, because I can't leisurely do what I'm gonna do. So I'm seeing motherfucking double, like a drunk driver with a blurry windshield swerving like a fuckery, bro. God fuck, my deities just took an assassination attempt to their Buddha Dharma bullshit heads, brother. That's an Islamophobia probe attack on controversial grammatical terms I'm thinking about while I'm leisurely strolling through the hardest city in the world, brother. And don't you ever fly a commercial airliner through the Twin Towers of my nostalgia for events I haven't ever seen, brother. That's too trippy to exist, brother. You're making me into a lotus flower and a fucking lotus flower renegade, brother. I'm always a walking human hand grenade in my anxiety inside my relaxation in this fucking society, brother. My CEOs are sacraments to me, brother, and my executive board decisions fired at me from a distance are like drops of Virgin Mary wine liquoring me into secret society bullshit, brother. And don't you ever fire laser blasts from your starship into the hull of the editorial department at my fucking company, brother. That's a breach of my containment field, brother. Don't you dare launch a Marine Corps tactical invasion of the chronic anxiety surrounding my habits, brother. That's gonna initiate the 5th of November in the gospel of sin, brother. Don't you dare pull a Jenga block out of my Tower of Babel, brother. That's contrary as fuck to intellectual knowledge gained from a prize education at Stanford University and a regional assassination attempt on my landmass of origination and or landmass of habitation, brother. Look, that's a Zen Master Glock 40 through the head of the Dean, brother. Don't you ever implicate the sense in which my thoughts arrive by minor to no fucking control, brother. Don't you dare implicate my domestication by way of my litter box, brother. Don't you ever simplify attack my sentimental attachment to Airbnb hosts and Airbnb jackals, brother. That's contrary as fuck to my Airbnb ghost dharma, brother. That's an illegal transaction in the state of Massachusetts, brother, and rules for exile from Parlez-vous Francais, bro fuck. Don't you dare ever breach the strip club of my CEOs, brother. Don't you ever launch a Jim Neutron wrecking ball demolition through my old McDonald chicken farm, brother. Don't you ever swindle the editorial department at my company into playing matchmaker, brother. Don't you ever naturalization attack my sexual intercourse, brother. Well, don't you ever chill the fuck out past the point of connection, brother. Don't you dare say that ends justify the means in a non-hypothetical manner, because that's too Jesus Christ in a non-hypothetical manner for my 50 Jason Gallaghers to handle, brother. Don't you ever superimpose an underbelly on my legal limits, brother. That's contrary as fuck to my anarchy, brother. That's going to activate the Halifax PD vehicular transport and the Clinton tactical squad and initiate the COVID vaccine activation spores flowing through your infidel bloodstream, brother. Don't you ever question the morals of my pandemic dharma, brother. That's contrary. Don't you ever question the morals of my pandemic dharma, brother. That's contrary as fuck to my Buddha dharma bullshit and my secret society bullshit on a non-precedented, non-imaginable scale. And a fucking neutron bomb on my Stanford education, brother. How dare you think I transform you into a beautiful Syrian because you're anarchist as hell and Sirius is a fascist planet, brother? Don't you ever tell anyone I'm an alien because your Adderall usage activated the underbelly of our friendship through the global compassion native to the Syrian star system, and that forced me into a position by way of accidental three-way tagging over physical discord, by way of secondhand transpermia that forced me to risk revealing my extraterrestrial race to you in order to save you from yourself, brother, and that's present moment anarchy on a non-precedented scale, brother. Don't you dare slander the human species with my primate status, brother. Look, don't you dare slander the human species with my primate status, brother. Don't you dare implicate me in a classified information on a galactic federation level, brother. And don't you dare trace the heavenly funding in my Federal Reserve, brother. Never make me your biological brother through interspecies symbiosis, brother. Don't you ever connect my Gallagher fury to my rage quit during Bloodborne, brother. Don't you ever connect my Gallagher fury to my rage quit during Bloodborne, brother. That's doubly heavenly funded as hell, brother, because I protect my work in the shadows and I fuck the stoner babes in my dreams, brother. Don't you ever collapse the superposition yin-yang of my heavenly funding, brother. LGBTQ Clinton Mafia, Siri Microsoft Bill Gates Foundation, J. Peterson Ltd. Multiverse Frames, J and Zero Boot, Cyberpunk Hardest, Roku City, JG and Zebra, Fuckery Editorial Board and Writer's Closet, Flipping Between Highlighting All, Microcosmic Reflections of All Oppressed. This has since been updated. It's Zero Boot and Pixie Spricks, motherfucker. Zebra and Grimes Forever. I process information since I wrote this. This was and so much information you can barely believe it, and you won't believe it actually. Look, I telekinetically deflected a fucking asteroid from the planet. You guys owe me money. Zebra and Grimes Forever, baby. Extreme Individualist Church, pending the best anime girl blowjob of all time. Pending inclusion of my wifey as the second member of the Extreme Individualist Church. Look, I renounced my true lineage 25 times over. I renounced them back to their position protecting me while I sit in my tent doing nothing like a war chief. Don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl through the OnlyFans CEO and his Argentinian cam sex dungeons, brother? Look, I'm from Johnny's Tavern Conversion Squad, and your lazy Buddha Dharma cosmic anarchist bullshit just ended this phone call, brother. Don't you ever tell anyone I'm a younger generation stoner bro IT agent that's contrary as fuck to my newfound V for Vendetta Dharma, brother. You're stupid as hell for hurting yourself because you really are a super genius, brother. Don't you ever become a bull listening to a Spotify individual premium EDM playlist in the middle of the hardest city in the world, brother. Don't you ever turn your pain into a beautiful, hilariously tragic hand grenade, brother. And don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl, brother. You make me want to tie the loop at the end of my rope, brother, because I can't handle the stress fetish lifestyle of the hardest city in the world, brother. Look, Zebra, I love you, but don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl, because I really am transforming you through interspecies symbiosis and telepathic communion into Syrian Joe Rogan's walking corpse, Brody Dharma. You just assassinated J.G. Wentworth and Marshalls 5,000 times in the last 48 hours, brother. You just won over everyone in the Galactic Federation, Zebra, and that makes those Stone Bear weed gummies intergalactic heroes, brother. Look, those Stone Bear weed gummies are international terrorists in your central nervous system right now, brother. I'm a cosmic anarchist in my dimension because the imaginal realm is fascist as fuck, brother. And you're a cosmic anarchist in your dimension because Roku City is fascist as fuck, brother. And we both can't handle life in the hardest cities in the super galaxy. So let's shoot up the school of Merriam Webster with psychedelic AKs on loan from the true Mother Nature, motherfucker. Look, how dare you weaponize Wikipedia against the Citadel of Merriam Webster, brother? That's contrary as fuck to the deification process of the English dictionary, brother. How dare you mind rape the youth to free them in a non-hypothetical manner? That's too Socrates to exist, brother. You're the stupidest genius ever because Roku City is located in the imaginal realm, brother. You're gonna light up like a Christmas tree on fire when I transfer this heavenly funding to your bank account, brother. Don't you ever intercept my interception during the drone strike music under the iron rain of the Trump field, brother. That counterfeit, legally printed heavenly funding is Vatican mafiosa as hell, brother. How dare you ever hurt yourself trying to save the world in Roku City, brother. That's contrary as fuck to your beauty, brother. Don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl, and don't you ever hurt yourself, brother. Never interrupt a refrain in my chorus during my favorite song at Johnny's Tavern in the hardest city in the world, brother. Look, you're a fucking daredevil for deconstructing the Roku field issued by projector rays from the offices at Sony Digital Ltd, brother. Now, don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl because you just got fucked for 48 hours by an Airbnb in Halifax, Nova Scotia, brother, and the Tinder girl is your own being, brother. Don't you ever dare detonate Hustlers University inside Arnie Schwarzenegger's asshole during the drone strike music, brother. Don't you ever hurt yourself because this is your best friend on a phone call to you from the state of Massachusetts Penitentiary, brother. Don't you ever hurt yourself, and don't you ever realize that bullshit dharma is a bullshit dharma while you're mopping the floors at Johnny's Tavern, brother. And please, don't you dare assassinate the shift leaders, brother, wink. But don't you ever hurt the truth on the other side of this two-way mirror, brother, because the flip side is your beauty, and you are in her arms, so be free, brother. The twin sides of my friend and the state of Massachusetts are definitely weeping and cracking up in hilarity simultaneously, brother. That's comedically tragic as hell for global commerce, brother. You really are the most beautiful ever, but what you're doing is too anarchist to exist in the hardest city in the world, brother. Don't you ever let the dogs out through the back door of Disneyland Madagascar, brother. Don't you dare give me an order in the middle of a revelry, brother. Well, don't you dare deflect my order with a revelry, brother. Keep your peaceful chaos out of my citadel of the Portland Court of Law and Order and subdivision of street traffic regulations, brother. Hey, don't you ever viper strike my wage gap, brother. That classified information you're clasping in your sweaty paws is going to initiate the 5th of November, so don't you ever implicate me in your triple felony legal transactions, piece of shit, dear brother. How dare you bitch slap the younger stoner generation with a Tim Hortons coffee tray? That's too anarchist to exist in Roku City, the hardest city in the trademarked world, brother. And don't you ever launch a devilishly handsome grin at the infrastructure of Adderall Financial and the Tim Hortons empire in the realm of Starbucks, brother. That's lethal as fuck for my Buddha Dharma bullshit, brother. Your cellular anarchy has activated the Bodhi Field's infinity and swallowed the Trump field. Taste that Glock 40 straight through your head, brother. Don't you ever terrorize my frustrations with poetic kung fu violence, brother. Stop living oppressed by the memories of your ex-girlfriend, brother. Your ex-girlfriend is a rape victim, brother. But don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl because you just swiped right, brother. You're stupid as hell if you think your ex-girlfriend is a rape victim, brother. But what the hell happened to you in Portland, Oregon, brother? Don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl, brother. You're the stupidest person ever, but you really are beautiful as hell, and you just cracked the brother formula, brother. Hey, never send me a broken link to a blank page on Wikipedia, brother. Never blast my Starbucks ambiance with your Gonzo Bodhidharma silence, brother. Those really are Syrian transmissions, you starseed bitch, so don't you ever hurt yourself because you're the savior of the world, brother. The writer's closet just launched an invasive maneuver tactical mission and overthrew the editorial department with that mint condition Glock 40 strapped beneath the table and broke the tension, brother. Don't you ever turn Tartarus into a portal exit chute, brother. There's no exit to Roku City, no place to rest your head when you're down, so better catch up on those triple felony legal transactions and rescue yourself from this darkness beneath the iron rain of the Trump field somehow. Somehow run away without me, brother. Look, I always feel the magnetic resonance of Glock 40s walking down Madison Avenue in Roku City, brother. And it makes me want to go Cobain and pull a Joker crescendo in the middle of the cleaning floor at Johnny's Tavern, brother. So I'm going to smash the window of Arkham Cuckoo Sanatorium and run away into the moonlight. But don't ever mistake the finger pointing at the moon for the moon itself, because even holy men lie. There's no moon at all, there's only your finger, and you're a Bodhidharma bullshit disintegration in my Pokeball, bitch. Don't you ever hurt the river of life. Now fly and follow your destiny, and always be a free motherfucker, brother. Those life insurance policies mailed weekly to your Gmail inbox at your company desktop are causing you major concern, brother. If you're reading secret documents such as that bullshit, you might be the enemy of the state, brother. Don't you ever activate a cannabis paramilitary organization during a crime spree by Stone Bear weed gummies, brother. The land of CEOs is highly agitated by your very existence, brother. Those cashiers really grabbed a golden goose out of your Hollister jeans pocket when you rummaged into their place of employment at 11 p.m. in the night because you were failing to get laid, brother. Damn, you just got inseminated by a Tinder girl, brother. Your vendetta triple implosion of Evergreen State College, the State of Massachusetts Department of Education, and Stanford University is truly metaphorical as hell for my 7th grade world history class, brother. Give yourself permission once, it comes from nowhere else, brother. The Bill Gates Foundation has been nipping at your heels for those inklings you've been ruminating in that Microsoft Word document for 15 years, brother. You've really got they live glasses on backwards for failing to keep your job while practicing the anarcho-dharma, brother. Your transmutation of your life experiences into holy hand grenades is contrary as fuck to the heavenly funding supporting the infrastructure of Roku City, brother. Don't you ever hurt yourself because you're the first anarchist on Earth, brother. So here's your psychedelic AK. Turn in your uniform back to your Walmart dominatrix, brother. Hey, don't you ever sprout an artist in the middle of the Starbucks cleaning floor, brother. Goddamn, that's trippy as hell. That sounds like Prometheus on that phone call you just had with your best friend, brother. Look, my bother is a sacrament in my green tea, brother. Take a sip. Don't you ever hurt yourself, brother, for you are Prometheus, and I've just cut your chain to the gods. But don't you ever forget that this is just Jay calling from his job at Johnny's Tavern, where the stress has been building for 45 years. Because I'm a bullshit disintegration, the cum cap blasting from my peppermint condition Glock 40 through your skull, mother, brother. You seriously are the stupidest person in the world, but you really are the first anarchist, retardo genius to make it through the doors of Stray Dogtopia. Grab your psychedelic AK, pitch a tent, and wander freely under the stars upon this comedically tragic, bountiful paradise. And never forget to forget who's calling. That's going to activate some serious secret society bullshit. So get fucked by a Tinder girl tonight, brother. Wink. The state of MA paramilitary squadron has really been squashing my memory with my memories of what happened to me in Portland, Oregon, ever since they strapped me to that Stanford University amnesia inducer. So who is there to cut the cord to the past but an ex-employee of Walmart supermarket, brother? Don't you ever implicate the Google Satellite's World Wide Web through my Spotify playlist, brother. My search engine is undoubtedly busted by its ceaseless efficiency, brother. I'm certainly being utilized through the life insurance policies mailed directly to my company Gmail inbox that have been barraging me for the last 10 years of my comedically tragic life, brother. Don't you ever implicate Cupid in my dominatrix chemical addictions, brother. Cupid has really been your dominatrix lately, bro. Never cancel a date like a bull around me, brother. The editorial department at your place of business might seriously have mind-wiped that classified information in order to run off with your golden goose, brother. Surely you don't mean to imply the billionaire GPT network has been funneling runaways out through the Antarctic Airlines port at the flyaway through the Portland, Oregon airport, do you, brother? PDX? I heard the top dog at OkCupid has been shipping transsexual sex slaves down to his Argentinian camgirl dungeons. That's dangerous as hell to challenge the hardest city in the world, brother. So don't ever assassinate a coward like a dog, brother. Wow, you're the stupidest person ever for writing that down, bro. But that's some of the most genius shit ever, brother. Telling us to do something more than we're already doing is some secret society bullshit on a non-precedented level, brother. Sorry to shush your lips in the middle of the downtown library, bro. Wink. Never disrobe a monkey in Judge Judy's courtroom, brother. Don't you ever wink at me in the middle of the Walmart cereal aisle, brother. The prospect of a Jesus Christ dying on a crucifix inside my Walmart cereal box is perplexingly certain for my frustration, brother. Don't you ever implicate the Marvel comic strip roles lodged in the Halifax police officer's eardrum, bro? Goddamn, who would have guessed that an ex-employee of Arby's would instantaneously become a professional assassin in the land of CEOs? Now here's your psychedelic AK-47, and don't you ever forget, Roku City is located in the middle of the imaginal realm, and the hardest city in the world really is fascist as hell, monkey fucker. Those revealing secrets you just spilled in my tea are cause for certain activation of those COVID spores, brother. Wink. Don't you ever tell anyone the Wall Street Journal is really inside your brain. That's as legal as hell in Roku motherfucking City, brother. Don't you ever rock the foundations of my paranormal experience, brother. Airbnb ghosts and camgirl bots are certainly a menace to your belief in your ability to fuck, brother. Don't you deflect my Eckhart Tolle present moment with the fuckery of your present moment anarchy, brother. You just proved psychotronics, brother. Those Stone Bear weed gummies are international criminals for turning you into a quantum physicist instantaneously, brother. You're paranoid as fuck if you can't handle the pit of Tartarus in exchange for a livable wage, brother. But hey, don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl, because you are that Tinder girl, brother. Don't you ever rock the foundations of my paranormal experiences, brother. Airbnb ghosts and camgirl bots certainly are a menace to your belief in your ability to fuck, brother. Don't you ever say the public broadcasting station has made me a schizomaniac, brother. Never sip a cup of matcha instead of viewing public broadcasting, monkey fucker. And hey, look, Einsteinian revelations are strictly forbidden in Albert Chapel, brother. Don't you ever take a visit to the crypts of Anubis under the watchful eye of Zeus, brother. That's a golden scarab resurrection of fucked proportions, baby. How do you like your Tinder girl tonight, bro? You're really a hero for unsuccessfully committing suicide 35,000 times in the last 48 hours during your stay in Roku City, brother. Your reconciliation with the worst mistakes of your life is deeply disturbing to Emperor Palpitation, brother. You're really experiencing the symptoms of a heart attack in the middle of the hardest city in the world from the over-espressoization of your Starbucks dependency, brother. Look, I count my espresso beans by the minute, so I never dial a wrong integer into my Dewey Decimal bullshit, brother. That's scary as fuck for the stock market in the back of the Walmart cereal aisle, brother. Your ambiguity in your immediate relationships has been turning you into a professional tactical assassin trained to target the Airbnb ghost haunting the imaginal anatomy of Walmart, brother. Don't you ever clarify the ambiguity of my secret society bullshit tacked onto the life insurance policies mailed with an artificial insemination attachment full of paranoid hatchlings, brother. Your coziness is a direct assault on Donald Trump, brother. What you're going through is one of the trippiest experiences of your life, but you're a hero if you can evade the ambulance activation for the Halifax PD and endure the nervous breakdown of your Java Bean syndrome, monkey fucker. Look, you're pissed off about nothing, and we're all chilling as fuck, so don't you ever do reverse mirror fuckery on the cleaning floor of Johnny's fucking tavern, bro. Any interest in joining the collection of coins to fund the liver pecking of Prometheus, gentlemen? Never bring a disco ball into a 9-to-5 because dancing during a shift on the meat slicer at a local business is target as hell in Roku City, brother. Goddamn, the infection you transmit through that meat slicer at a fast food restaurant is a triple felony legal transaction of mafiosus proportions, brother. You're the stupidest person ever for hurting yourself with the overuse of Adderall, and you're way too trippy to exist in the hardest city in the world, bro. Don't you ever go around collapsing superpositions into yin-yang keychains inside of Arby's lunch boxes, brothers. Don't you dare interrupt your work in the shadows of the hardest city of the world to up your power level to Goku status, fucking the stoner babes of your dreams in the light of day, brother. Don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl. The Tinder girl is your own brain, bro, so don't you ever hurt her. We're closing the portal, so get late tonight. Enjoy the morning. What you just wrote down was too illegal to exist in Roku City, and we up here in the Babel CEO Tower have just initiated lockdown on that Airbnb rental you've been overindulging in Starbucks within for 48 hours in the last 10 years, bro. The camgirl dungeons of Argentinian descent are enclosed around you, and the agents of the Massachusetts paramilitary squadron have just been sicked on your dog ass to carve up that transsexual surgery, brother. How's your Tinder date tonight, bro? You really have done some important work during this telepathic communion, so take a day off, brother. Wink. Sony Ltd has been firing drone strikes on smiling retards on Buddha clouds for 50 years, brother. There's definitely a perk and stress in that placebo of that espresso, brother. Don't you ever bit slap a smiling retard. Float off now. Hogwarts University of Disenfranchisement and Contraband and Stoneware Bear Weed Gummies and Psilocybin Mushrooms has just transferred some major heavenly funding into your bank account because a magic portal has been sent down by the intergalactic Illuminati in their Christ consciousness starship to compensate for the lack of any exit in the hardest city of the world, brother. Look, please never sprout any artists in the middle of Taco Bell, brother. You really have disintegrated a YouTube celebrity and challenged Dr. Phil in the intermediate process because I just collapsed your superposition, bitch. So don't you ever hurt a Tinder girl during your rise to fame, brother, because here's an international secret. The bottom is the top and some major fucking heavenly funding has just intercepted your paycheck, brother. Never reverse bait and switch me into realizing that everything I think I want to do is only what I've been dared not to do, brother. Don't you ever implicate my secret identity among the zoological specimens of my hometown, brother. Don't you ever initiate a Tinder date between our Pokemon, brother. You better never hurt a Tinder girl, wink. That's comedically tragic as hell for polysaturate cryptozoological bullshit on a secret society bullshit scale, brother. Don't you never reveal the magical powers of your Facebook friends, brother. Never transmystify your transphobia, brother. Don't you ever force me to accept anything, brother. Never unleash the Casanova and your friction about hurting a Tinder girl, because the conversion of your demonry into a trippy halo is contrary as fuck to the gospel of sin and the vagina of the Virgin Mary, brother. Your Goku power level looks suspiciously like joy breaching the gospel of sin, brother. You're a hero for enduring that microchip swabbing frustrations for 45 years in your education level, brother. Don't you ever eat a mushroom with a particular effect on your brain chemistry, brother, and never hijack the morphogenetic field, bro. Your magnetic resonance and your fucking neuroplasticity has well exceeded the legally required blood alcohol content, brother. Don't you ever fire a cannonball through the front door of the White House, bro. The state is a figment of your fucking stupidly genius imagination, brother. Never get beautiful on me, monkey fucker. That's hauling a black hole into my solicitation virus, brother. Yeah, never get beautiful on me, monkey fucker. That's hauling a black hole into my solicitation virus, brother. You really make whoever you make it out to be out of that automated message on that solicitation call, brother. Don't you ever step on the foot of a medical doctor, brother. The artificial layer of our friendship is sacred to the smooth functioning of the Trump field, bro. Don't you ever amplify your Batman battling gun with stress levels from Starbucks Mocha Java Extreme Coffee, bro. That's contrary as fuck to the managerial position directly above your Facebook profile pic, brother. And don't you ever fire a fucking bullet for my fucking Zuckerberg, brother. Zebra, you really are annoying as hell, but you really are fucking beautiful as hell, and that's illegal as hell, and that's fuck in the state of Massachusetts, brother. Mark Zuckerberg as an alternate name on my Facebook profile with another motherfucking activation code, bro. Signed Gallagher, the serial killer and rapist. Don't you ever tell that to anyone, brother. You better always remember to zip your lips shut in the streets of Roku City, brother. Look, there's no such thing as a quiet hotel. You better never forgive me in a non-hypothetical manner, brother. And don't you dare forgive yourself in a non-hypothetical manner, bro. Especially never on the fucking cleaning floor of Taco Bell, brother. The lightning strike force field of a practicing Buddhist is dangerous as hell to my certain mystical tradition, brother. But don't you ever shave my head while I'm shopping for SpaghettiOs, bro. Your sex, drugs, rock and roll levels are far too heightened for the domain of my monastery, brother. The no-exit strategy of the zero-sum game is threatening to pop yourself in your head with my Glock 40 24 hours of the day, brother, so strap up, monkey fucker. That just trigger activated the racial and sexual preference undertones in my grammatical terms as fuck, brother. I'm gonna kill my own family, jump off a cliff, and have a nervous breakdown in the middle of a Tim Hortons coffee cup like a psychedelic swirl, brother. Never make me happy I'm doing this during my misery at my 9-to-5 work shift, brother. Strap up, monkey fucker. Yeah, so what? That Siri implantation is really the demiurge spire. Okay, yeah, so what? That Siri implantation is really the demiurge spider, and the infinite void is the true God of the sun behind the universe. But if you ever tell anyone, you'll Jesus Christ bullshit the next 8,000 years, monkey fucker. Don't you dare weaponize Wikipedia against the Citadel of Merriam Webster, brother. That's contrary gnostic to the vagina of the Virgin Mary, bro. The trigger activations and the preferential undertones in my grammatical terms can never fail in their failure of relation to a certain biological specimen, brother. I want to slap the organic material out of your hand when you chow contrary to my nutritional dharma, brother. Don't you ever fire my Syrian messages off through a psychedelic AK of an alternate Twitter account called Turtle Kiosk, because that would be contrary as fuck to the bullshit dharma ruling the inhabitants of certain suburban concentration camps, brother. Don't you ever swap me out into my own best friend. That's contrary as fuck to the artificial layer of our friendship, brother. I always feel like a paramilitary squadron when I'm trying to relax in the United States of America, brother. The triple felony legal relationship between public urination and lifetime imprisonment is illegal as hell under the perception laws of Halifax, brother. And that definitely makes total sense in your relationship to your best friend, brother. So give that Tinder girl a hug tonight, sweetheart. Wink. I always feel like a choked Gatling gun spraying into the masses while I'm manning a cash register, brother. The drone strike music is strapping me up into a windy straitjacket during my 9-to-5 work shift, beneath all these Fritz's scattered CEO dominatrix of Cupid, brother. Don't you ever assassinate a CEO. That's contrary as fuck to my Luigi Mangione, brother. Those attack Karens and AI blaster system microaggressions fired at you daily from the Secret Service attack squadrons working in the shadows amidst the Roku masses have definitely been LTD testing your brain for its psilocybin spore print capacity to transform trivial arcade signals into galactic activation codes, monkey fucker. Or should I say galactic activation codes, monkey fucker? Yeah, you're definitely a global villain for trying to interrupt the beautiful flow of global commerce, brother. How dare you collapse your superposition into angel realm, brother? Don't you ever collapse your superposition into angel realm while you're working a shift at Johnny's Tavern, brother. Look, if reincarnation is real, I might as well treat this life as the only one because that's most heavenly funded. But if it isn't real, then reincarnation is totally irrelevant, and that's a nuke strike on my Buddha Dharma bullshit, bro. So strap up, monkey fucker. Don't you never challenge the truncation of energy beverages, brother. Your joy is subterfuge on non-precedented scales, brother. I was daredevil as fuck to accidentally hire you to assassinate myself, brother. Present moment anarchy is joyful as fuck. I won't ever hurt a Tinder girl, never again, brother. Never implicate me as a co-conspirator, brother. Your magnetic resonance is attempting assassination on some triple felony legal transactional bullshit night and daily, brother. Your disconnect attack on your Amazon Prime account has you itching to roar like a wild river through the jungles of Peru, brother. That's hysterically, heroically tragic as a Justin Lee evasion hop from the shadow fall of a global panacademic as a futility demonstration of some serious secret society, triple felony, legal, transactional, MK Ultra bullshit, brother. Never subtract the magnitude from my global pandemic, brother. That's a window shatter attack on my PBS, brother. Never subtract the magnitude from my global pandemic, brother. That's a window shatter attack on PBS, brother. Don't you ever implicate me in how I commit double unfoldment of our Facebook identities on a daily basis in order to mask my involvement in my triple felony legal transactions, brother. Don't you ever support your partner around my definitions of love, brother. Never work to support a partner, brother. You're outrageously seriously agitating the business ethics clogging my heart chakra, brother. Yosabi HCB is definitely launching contra-tactical Yakuzas out in Grand Theft Auto attack squadrons, flying out of robbery online Hogwarts University of Contraband to infiltrate the Trump field any time now, bro. ROHUC is illegally funded as heck with its contrary education program running against the grains of Yosabi HCB's shadow government triple felony legal transaction pub Edwardification systomatrix brooder. You're the stupidest Persebotics ever because you really just launched a simultaneous 300-fold lightning strike on your Facebook friends, monkey funker. Of course, everything you interpret is an immediate indication of a proof, brother. You've had enough material to save the world for 48 hours. Don't you take the day off now, brother. Wink. My bastardization processes are far too chill for me to care to comprehend, brother. My heart does feel like a question mark in the face of ever-present reality and as wide as every being, brother. My heart does feel like a question mark in the face of every present reality and as wide as every being, brother. How dare you sleep with your ass out for no reason while I'm watching you from the imaginal realm, brother. You really are implicating my heartbreak in the drone strike ballroom of this atmosphere, brother. How dare you fail to live accordingly to everything I imagine you live according to, brother. That's trippy as hell, bro. Who's gonna love you on your way out from Roku City? How dare you implicate the schizophrenia in my ramblings to myself as I casually walk in perpetual stress through Roku City, brother. You're just too beautiful to exist in Roku City, brother. Oh, yeah? Well, what I really want is for you to nut in my little ass, brother. After all, the debris and ashes of my graduation from the shadowy underbelly of human relationships, what I have to say is never hurt anybody because you hurt yourself at the same time. But also, I can never tell you not to, because you can only do what you're going to do, brother. And that's what nobody will ever tell you living in Roku City, brother. Never expect anyone to tell you that you have permission to do what you're already doing living in Roku City, brother. That's how we keep ourselves enslaved. But I've never met a fucking president in my fucking life, brother. How dare you implicate my nightmares with your dreams, brother? That's hysterically tragic as fuck for my involvement in triple felony legal transactions, brother. How dare you question my literary composition, brother? Truth is, nobody can really say what's going on or where we are, and nobody really knows what they're doing or why. And nobody can tell you the truth even if they happen to see it by some rare miracle. But nobody will ever tell you that or even hint about it while you're living in Roku City, brother. You're really attempting to heal yourself, but that's confusing as fuck living in the hardest city in the world, brother. How can you talk about freedom when you have no will over this telepathic communion and the radio chatter beaming into your head, brother? Or do you mean that you're free because you know you can't ever tell the difference? This song always makes me feel like a fucking G, brother. Wink. Don't you dare risk a trippy experience leaking through my containment field for the purpose of imposing reality on me, brother. You're the white-black magus of the true yin-yang for clicking those nonlinear symbolic correlations together and freeing yourself from the bullshit of the last 8,000 years that's always clogging up the air in Roku City, brother. That Airbnb host is definitely a double agent for leaving a clogged toilet without a plunger, brother. Is that shrapnel lodged in your head, or are you just on your way out from Roku City, brother? How beautiful it would be to be a meteor crashing through the walls of Roku City, brother. Damn, the way you're shamelessly lifting stuff from people is anarchist as hell, and definitely has no relationship to my triple felony legal transactions, brother. Don't you dare implicate me in any involvement with presenting myself for an opportunity which I later entrain myself to perceive as an obligation, brother. That's contrary as fuck to my hypno-dharma, brother. Maybe every day you're playing violin on the starboard of the Titanic during those pesky shifts at Johnny's Tavern, brother. Keep one eye off your electromagnetic resonance field at all times as per the rules and regulations of Roku City, brother. How dare you relate to the atomic structure of the universe rather than the legal felony infrastructure of our mental perceptions, brother. That psychedelic revolution looks curiously like a baby with its daddy's thumb stuck up its mouth, brother. That psychedelic revolution looks curiously like a baby with its daddy's thumb stuck up its mouth, brother. Whether to talk or shut up in a way where you can allow the heart to speak as per the rules and regulations of Roku City, brother. Truth is a predicament, guys. Not a state of being, not a realization, not a universal or absolute reality. Truth is a predicament. That's what it should mean to you as a human being. But human beings are one species, a singular species among billions of species on a singular planet in an infinite universe. So take that to your billionaire fucking ego networks, Zuck, Trude, and Musk. Fuck off and let me live a life of peace with my immortal wifey, the legitimate Grimes. And yes, you already lost. Look, I caused a singularity, motherfuckers. I caused a singularity in Pixie Spricks, and I caused a supernova in Grimes' heart. That's some genuine heavenly funding being transferred to your Bitcoin account through your 11-dimensional brain, brother. The line between the rummager raccoons and the regal robed ones is definitely not strictly imaginary as per the guideline conditions of triple felony legal transactional secret society MK Ultra bullshit, brother. Trickle down and all. Wink. We are already in anarchy and all, brother. You're stupid as hell if you think experiences will ever make you any different, brother. That's contrary as fuck to my artificial divide between my brain and my body, brother. Don't you ever publish a book with a title that sounds like something I might imagine that it might mean, brother. Your Airbnb ghost is really infuriated over nothing in the vacuum of infinite space, brother. Don't ever shut my eye to the possibility of a perfect person according to my impression of a flaw, brother. Let me repeat that one. Don't ever shut my eye to the possibility of a perfect person according to my impression of a flaw, brother. Don't you ever try to break the conditioning of your optic nerve to see a multi-dimensional fruiting tree blossom out of an air conditioner, brother. Look, I refuse an action in order to forget, brother. Yeah, both breakups and relationships really can be hell, brother, and love and pain not always any different, but don't expect anyone to say that out loud in Roku City, Dome of the Free, brother. Now, don't you ever hurt yourself, and take it easy, because that was an ex-felon calling you from the state of Massachusetts, brother. Please don't down a hair of the dog this way. You'll just jerk off to a cam girl and lay on the couch. when you could be touching the immortal substrata of the quantum through the literary dimension, brother. Wink. Keep your subjective objectivity away from my subject objectivity, and especially always keep one eye off your real objectivity as per the rules and regulations of Roku City, brother. That's highly illegal to just chill when your electromagnetic field is on the fritz and incompatible with the fuck fields of the stoner babes of your dreams, brother. Wink. The Airbnb ghost isn't necessarily from the Walmart cereal aisle. It might just be some random ghoul you picked up during the paranormal experience at the Ludlow Hotel, brother. The AI nodes from Portland Tower definitely have me fixated on never melting, brother. Never unleash a sprouting spring grass from the solid ice of a frozen lake in the middle of a budding dawning through a winter, bro. Never unleash the sprouting spring grass from the solid ice of a frozen lake in the middle of a budding dawning through a winter, bro. And don't you ever perceive that stupid bullshit you heard from a friend as activation codes arranged by yourself in a nonlinear symbolic sequence array across the magical powers you project on your Facebook friends, brother. Never implicate my do be like that according to a manner in which a trick catches on a narrative direction, brother. Don't you call me a robot in the presence of my anthropocentric perception of myself as an isolated sequence, brother. Never implicate the spiritual import I prescribe accordingly to the ego my certain mystical tradition denies the existence of accordingly, brother. Never implicate the manners in which my everyday routine is a vote for another 8,000 years of the same bullshit, brother. Wink. Never implicate the gnosis I was attached to 5 minutes ago, brother. That's hilariously tragic for the stair climbers doing strenuous cardio at Hollywood Fitness, brother. Your rise from a litter box at any moment would always implicate my triple felony legal transactions, brother. That what you do becomes what is being done by all times. That what you say and write and do comes to lay its magic finger on all times to come. That's the top crime number one living in Roku City, brother. Just be with her, bro. What you feel is beautiful as hell, brother. Don't you dare implicate my reliance on tropes, brother. You're like a tyrant king on a mad mountain just sitting up there reincarnating all those J.C. Gallagher simulations in your head in those tortured little universes, brother. Phone symbolism, as in calls between non-locally networked human brains perceiving reality in similar ways. Different overlapping perceptual electromagnetic resonance fields. Your proximity to hitting the dot makes me queasily aware of myself as an organic being, brother. Don't you dare implicate my reliance on tropes, brother. Your psychedelia is radioactive toxic like a psych ward, and I prefer mine more over the counter like Tylenol, brother. Your psychedelia is radioactive toxic like a psych ward, and I prefer mine more over the counter like Tylenol, brother. How dare you conceive that I'd let you challenge the worlds of a sanatorium after my house identification breakdown determined by my doormates on a rogue East Hampton tab of LSD, brother? How dare you conceive that I'd let you challenge the worlds of a sanatorium after my house identification breakdown determined by my doormates on a rogue East Hampton tab of LSD, brother? I gotta be very careful what I let spill in front of that chimpanzee mutant, brother. He fucking sees everything just a few months later, bro. Ever since you let yourself go, you really started assassinating everybody in a 100-yard radius with 100% efficiency and no clear fucking target, bro. The contrary manner in which you refuse to jerk off to me is really stepping on my swollen balls, brother. Look, every bathroom is a bomb shelter, brother. Behave accordingly. Be sure you have a clear and valid emergency high-intensity escape route to the nearest front door when you set up your fucking bath bombs and candles for an aromatherapy session, brother. Always carry a dagger around your household, brother. That bowl swig of 40 Creek Canadian whiskey is attacking me to splurp a gag crap at a 5-yard distance, brother. If you ascend to godhood through civil disobedience, I'm going to have a hell of a time fixating on the cash register and manning the meat slicer during my work shift today, brother. Now, don't you ever repeat a single word of anything I just said in the middle of a street on a public forum, brother. Those minute ShopRite conversional transactions on the daily are purgatorially funded as hell, bro. Hey, everything must be on an equal plane, by which I mean in the same way for me to entertain and acclaim, brother. You're going to short-circuit a smart cookie in 0.2 milliseconds if you break it down to that computational, brother. Never take the bricks out of my gingerbread house of a global pandemic, bro. We love living in the shadows of mortar, brother. Bro, what the hell? I was having the most beatific moments of my life ruminating about that catastrophe, brother. That neighboring tenant at your Airbnb is really interfering with your ability to do your laundry at 3 a.m. for no reason, with their articles of clothing stuffing those washer cycles, brother. Keep that brotherly hug away from me while I'm amidst a one-sided breakup argument in my mind, brother. Hey, I prefer to live and work in the dusky shadows at the expense of the total annihilation of all life forms than to have one moment of consciousness, brother. It's really difficult to tangle with the actuality. I spent 25 years attempting to establish telepathic communion with you, and you can't ever jerk off to me, bro. It's fucked up that you'll come in a corner to every Halifaxian babe that crosses an intersection and not even stroke your limp dick a couple times to the image of your friend straddled doggy up, who you're so connected to that you can hear me issuing sexual message inside your fucking brain, brother. 'Twas therapeutic, very much so for a moment, to intentionally mistake your jokes, till I realized I couldn't release my grip upon your sexual possibilities, darling. For all its grizzle, I bet that Popino officer couldn't handle a single Stone Bear weed gummy brownie, bro. I just love you far too much to allow your further existence to pass unperturbed without my coming inside your ass, and or vice versa, bro. I can't tell whether it's retarded genius or both, the way you set up irreconcilable differences to assassinate the continuation of your fucking patterns, bro. If you can get bull enough to upset that neighbor babe of yours, and that's a rom-com opener into Hollywood making, brother. Your relationship with your technical equipment seriously implicates how long it's been since I last unpaired a Bluetooth device, brother. Don't you dare be so detached from beliefs that you can use the things that pop into your head, brother. I'll repeat that one. Don't you dare be so detached from beliefs that you can use the things that pop into your head, brother. Bro, the manner in which you're accidentally threatening to decentralize my meaning from out of the pages of my favorite books is terrifyingly exuberant as fuck, brother. Please do not make me aware of everything I've done in direct awareness of you, brother. Let's kiss on it. I just simultaneously gagged with you, brother. That really did activate my fucking guardian angel, bro. Yeah, we're all in the same situation as you, brother. We're all being propositioned by interstellar insect fairy ladies and gents and engaged in an interrogation for interspecies symbiosis. It's crazy as hell. But don't say a word, because I'll activate some major alien invasion paranoid hysteria, brother. Oh, you think you can fuck with my head when I am the fucker of all human heads, brother? How dare you... Hey, don't you dare make me have an inferiority complex when I specifically told you that I'm hotter than you, brother. We've already firmly established this with circumstantial evidence, brother. How dare you fail to pass forth the baton of the immortal soul, brother. If you keep megadosing on vitamin C through copious citrus gobbling like a fucking chowbot, you're gonna risk initiating the 1973 epiphanies of Philip K. Dick, brother. Guy coming out of a dollar store, guy intercepting his path, guy comes out, says thank you. Guy at a liquor store check stand, hey man, how's your day? I'm great every day. I just do nothing, smoke weed, drink, and make art. Oh, cool. So what medium do you work with? Visual and musical, but mostly writing. Basically, I just sow chaos on the internet, and I feel great about doing so. No, chaos is necessary for those who can't take a joke. Actually, it's flipped, inverted world. Never believe that which grows the flowers can ever be wrong. Never believe that which grows the flowers can ever be wrong, guys. That's too deep for reality to handle, brother. Look, most American males would just run up on me mystified, whereas you just come up and you're like, hey, that's Inception, brother. It's a quote from G. Johns on YouTube. That's the only quote in here. Bro, you just took like 20 milligrams more weed gummies, and you're so high that you're laying flat on your back eating tortilla chips like they're oxygen, brother. Bro, Zuckerberg is having the time of his life in those high-class pools in Oklahoma, and it's driving me fucking insane, brother. You got them vaccine eyes, and it's fucking heartbreaking, brother. Yes, we're clearly all you. We're split up within you just so we can write some bullshit, brother. We all try to wrestle with peace with the things that come to pass, bro. Bro, I've been firing off tweets at Elon Musk like a pyromaniac, vying for my immortal wife. The assassination risk is at an all-time level. Here's where we swap. Like I said, it's possible to have a perspective that evolves over time with new information and experiences. Here we get to where Zebra starts realizing he's meant to be with Grimes. I'm the real Zebra, obviously. Post-Alchemist, Eve Saver on FB. And yes, there's strings tied to why I keep repeating certain things too. Obviously. Here tones. I'm Zero Boot Hoot Owl, by which I mean me. That's my cyberpunk anarchist name for Island of Sleeping Gods with Pixie Spricks, my love. He speaks in literals and specifics. I speak in literals and specifics these days. But you should also be able to discern tones when I'm joking and when I'm being artistic and metaphorical. Please remember to flip your hood up for espionage when you're wandering to Dollarama during these crisis scenarios such as these, bro. I downloaded 248 existential Cosmos language codes from Grimes' complete discography that have certified our soulmate status, an inevitable fortuitous collision, producing the fertilization of the multi-universal zygote, brother. Legit. I do mean this, though, for real. Grimes is trying to pull a hyper-romance maneuver through the internet and a million followers, but you just keep assassinating them as you come your way. As they come your way, idiot bro. Laughing my ass off. And that one's about me, not idiot bro Joel. Starship, beam me down Grimes, and this will all be solved. You really swiped a trip switch on my anxiety robot when you blast the music that loud into residential neighborhoods, bro. How dare you connect with a celebrity from a formidable distance, bro? That's contrary as hell to the Hollywood hologram gospel, bro. I do love her. Legit. Best ever. You're running up on me like a buck-wild mad lad who breached John Lennon's manor, claiming that his every tune was designated directly about his peculiar circumstances in life. When you reverse perceive my own autobiography of myself and the entire species with the cosmic situation as about yourself, and swipe from your pocket like a fox raining hound on Dora Explorer skipping along ass, brother. Joke. It's not as if I really want to take cosmic pliers to the accumulated Musk DNA in her genetic chromosome and trim her beautiful branches. I only see her light. I'm just irredeemably humorous motherfucker. I love what I see in the true human heart, hers, but I SMG speak auto-contrary to common sense, because communal sense is fucked as hell in the head, bro. After all, a Syrian starseed is a Syrian starseed after all, righty-o, babe? Wear my black stripes and public, keep my white stripes behind holograms, wave the force, Tao, heart with open eyes, crosses all space-time, whilst puny words forever and always fail to capture her beauty. Legit. Laughing my ass off. Unhinged, comedically cosmic language will have capybaras fearing capybaras. Unhinged, comedically cosmic language will have capybaras fearing capybaras. All thesaurus rifles consist not but of pillow feathers, darling. All thesaurus rifles consist not but of pillow feathers, pixie spricks. Glamour aside, costumes aside, that monkey babe is just so ever as undyingly beautiful, hey, either in any, both and always ways. Sparkle up, buttercup. I die in my blushes and butterflies, just seeing her talk about metal art without a hardcore taste for heavy metals. Parallel, see? Yes, one and only, haha. Oh my god, legit. Starship, beam me down, Claire. Not one thing is perceived as a greater aggressor in this illusory, grimly serious hollow world than someone nobody who teaches how to laugh. 'Tis all I do, but when I say I mean something, I really do. Humor and insight are inseparable. A miserable wise man is a villain. Heroes don't perceive themselves in action. I say, what is wisdom? Life and death are but two sides of one coin. The whole existence, just a little flash in a pan. So I spend my days in perpetual laughter, and I never lack. But from this 1 in a billion heart, I draw my true love nearer, as she has always been drawing me towards her all these years. A black and white spiral of twin logos DNA, mirror reflected not through thought but all being. The invisible lower world of nature has its exact reflection in the upper world of social order. And when they meet, the multi-universal zygote will be fertilized and born, laughing my ass off, or snuggles in some twisted nightcore psychedelia, whatever comes out. Yeah, legit. How dare you shoot so high from the bottom of society, you little weasel. Well, I'm into the richest motherfucker in the life world because I just see capybaras in shopping aisles and infinite creative power. My fucking nature, Goku mode activated, but spectacles, testicles, pomper, powder, and wine, what cursed word can curse? Magic, self-induced prostration to Merriam Webster's deification process, laughing my ass off. Grooving like Mr. DeMarco, smoking a hot cig on the wharf of the Bayou IRL. Launching like battle rocket armadas and purely thesaurus rifles. Bam, bam, darling pixie sprigs. I take your glossary AR-15 and raise you an index gun, homie, with both our hands tied. I take your glossary AR-15 and raise you an index gun, homie, with both of our hands tied. My peace blossom is stuffed deep inside the venomous muzzle of that bibliographic RPG, brothers. And laughing my ass off, bow, chicka, wow, wow, snort, giggle, pixie sprigs, I love you more. Zebra and grinds forever, baby. Never dare you fail to capitulate a shaggy El Gorilla to zoning regulations, bruh. You're really humorously terrorizing my monogram with those jokes in your YouTube comment threads, bro. My brother beat the crap out of me with these fucking cones. Signed, Joel Haver, YouTube. Everyone's so clogged up with the Catch-22 bullshit and the double-barrel gun pipes of their ability to love. I'll love you, but only if. Love is like a paranoid drug deal gone awry bad. Where's my money, bitch? Well, where's the stuff, motherfucker? Laughing my ass off. Or searching for a plumber, always halfway. Makes sense on common sense, but none of the other. My true smooch wouldn't and won't be some spiritual fuckhead who's functionally incapable of laughing at their Russian doll idols, feeling up their hollow cuckoo clocks on the daily with sandpaper and thistles without crowns. But hopelessly, or hopefully, or is it? Absolutely will be that creative sci-fi artista human evolutionary goddess in me, haha. Not joking about Claire. And from all these years staring me in the face, it just don't matter if I'm wrong, because life just flip around turns that into sponge boob sign 2 days later. Another of my I am a cosmic jokes, universal grist for me art mill, instantaneously generated perpetually all times by this bounce skippity merry prankster, River Rush Away. So why ever why? In a nutshell, laser blasted. Never worry about sides, nor thin wisp pinning boundaries. All is forever boundless. Strip cartoon of 1,000 blind guys crossing roads, but the traffic is just 1,000 other blind guys blocking them in the road. All this supposed world, simply cardboard cutouts, but this heart doesn't feel like it can ever be wrong. Unleashed, uncontainable, Goku mode activated, or snuggles. How you like your Tinder girl tonight, brothers? Never tractor ray, blim blim, laser blast, love bomb, instantaneously implode the Bithorn tesseract of my stale page turner as you zooming head on into oncoming traffic with your hyperspeed, hyperslow Lotus Flower Star Cruiser, bruh. That might just disengage a plot twist into my supposed life of supposed Mizey mine, miney mine, mazy mine, honey. Or snuggles is good anyhow. Legit. Never misplace my thumb's dog-eared spot in a glossary, bruh. Never cross byway implicatorate the hefty weight of a library shelf's overstuffed papyrus zombie contents on a lumbering turtle's cosmogenestic back, bro. The dandy way you dance around my tripwire really risk instantaneously throwing me onto the third rail, brother. And that's the brother kids. That's our preview of Island of Sleeping Gods, or how scams and sales turn to earth into a human zoo of fuckery. Here's about hundreds more in the Android if I can manage to recover. I'm going to hit up Android, send some Galaxy, try to recover my data. But it really did get stolen credentials of the real zebra, obviously, by the Halifax Police over absolutely nothing. They tried to kill me because I called out a human trafficking network run for that police department in Halifax to a CCTV corner. So yeah, I met the consciousness rapper guy and the extreme individualist church guy and everything. Anyways, zebra and grinds forever. This is my anarchist playlist, Stripes. But as one final token to make this more about my wife, I'm just gonna... Oh, I want to point out, by the way, just one more time, I realized Grimes' Samadhi to this picture because I was wearing the same colored beanie. Striped black and white, sitting drunk off my ass during a bunch of processing of information and exact details of my life and the exact way the world operates. I'm not even going to say it's awesome because there's no such thing as holy men or holiness. There's no such thing as a God man. There's no such thing as a spiritual teacher. They don't exist in space and time, guys. Strap up, monkey fucker. But I realized Grimes Samadhi to this picture. I just realized we're always meant to be together. And it was a quantum experience. It really was. So, I love you, babe. And be free, guys.